If you're looking for the highest converting lead ad strategies as a real estate agent, this interview is going to give you the roadmap of not just what are the highest converting Facebook, Google, and TikTok ads, but also how to convert them and the exact strategy for following up that gets booked appointments. Today, I've got the pleasure of bringing on my good friend Dominic Lamarre, who's a top team leader with about 20 agents on his team, who he's helped turn into top producers because of his paid ad strategies. So many people struggle with what ads to run, and even more so, once you get the leads, what to actually do with them to turn them into booked appointments and close deals. And in this conversation, Dominic reveals absolutely everything. And not only that, how he's even using artificial intelligence and ChatGPT to service clients and streamline the lead conversion process. Now, two quick things before bringing on Dominic. Number one, I will link his content below. He's very active on social media and has a great presence, which we discuss in this very conversation. And number two, if you would like to get his help for free of taking your business to the next level with paid ads and social media and AI, you can click the link in the description and book a private Zoom call with him as well. So without further ado, let's bring on Dominic and talk all things paid ads for lead generation and what you can do to skyrocket your lead conversion in 2025. All right, Dominic, well, super excited to have you on here and to really dive into one of the hottest topics that most people are curious about, but really don't have a solid understanding about, which is going to be ad strategies, paid online leads, because I think heading into 2025, there's a lot of agents looking to take their business to the next level, but don't quite understand how to convert leads. And that's always the biggest problem for most agents. So really excited to have you here. I'd love for you to introduce yourself, who you are, where you're from, what got you here, and then we can start diving into tactical ad strategies.
Well, thank you for the invite, first of all. What got me here, I guess it's if I start from the beginning, it's pretty much my background. I used to be in construction at first, and I decided I wanted to flip home at one point. I said, let's go put my tools on the side. I'll buy property, renovate them. So I thought about real estate right away. During the process, I realized that flipping home was not something that was interesting for me. So I decided to start basically buying, holding, and doing my business in real estate. Today, I start my business doing, I would say, cold call, door knocking, all the hard stuff. And today we have a team of 20 brokers plus the staff. And most of our business come from online. So this is a long story, put it to as short as possible.
I love that. No, it's really cool to see how people oftentimes, stumble upon real estate just based on other interests and desires and, looking at the incredible team that you built. I know that you've not only seen success for yourself, but you've now been able to help other
Yeah.
agents go from struggling to seeing massive success. So, let's start diving straight into ads because this is something I absolutely love. My foundation's on organic, but I've scaled my business through advertising. What type of ad strategies are you using? Are you using Facebook or Google, or what does it look like in terms of the platforms you're actually using?
So basically, all of them. I like to think that what brings results is omnipresence. You have to be on all the platform at the same time. So Facebook, Instagram, we do TikTok ad as well, Google ads, everything you can think about that we need to be on, we are on, and redirecting the traffic on all the platforms so we can communicate with the platform which the clients is more used to, basically.
Yeah. Definitely, that makes complete sense. Meeting people where they're at, and I love that you said
Exactly.
omnipresence. So many people don't understand what that means, but that's in essence being everywhere at once, and that's making sure that, no matter where potential clients or leads are looking, you're gonna be in front of them, and I know that you're a master of that. So, let's, I think, first start with Facebook, then we'll go into Google. When it comes
Yeah.
to Facebook, what type of ads are you running on there that's seeing good results and traction?
So our approach, so as you know, as a broker, we always want to focus on sellers and getting seller leads. But one thing I've noticed over time is that the first path for a seller is the path of a buyer. So basically, it's going to look at what there is for sale. It's going to look at, okay, what is going to, let's say he has a duplex, something like that. What is the capital gain I will need to pay when I sell, things like that. So the kind of ads we do are outside the box. So we're not doing any ads that are just list, just sold, but more ads that's going to bring some value, something the client can download, something the client can have an immediate success with. So we book a call with them after, and we work walk them through the process after this by digging with more question on a discovery call, I would say, after that.
That's awesome. And so when we're looking at this ad strategy, what's a typical budget that you're doing? And a lot of people are very curious of like the creative. So you've got the copy and the creative when it comes to an ad. Are you just using a photo of a property that looks very obviously from your market, or what does it look like to actually grab attention in a space where everybody's distracted?
Yeah, so basically, over time you do a lot of trial and error. You hire all kind of companies that's gonna do it for you. And on my side, what I've noticed over time is that what brings some results is gonna be the creative of the ads. That was for my market, basically the visual and how I can capture the attention of the client. So a little bit like a clickbait. They click on it, I get the information, and after I can do my speech for sales. So this is where I've noticed that I have most return of the money that I invested, because in the past I used to put a lot of money online. I had budget going not now today, but in the past 15,000 per month to 20,000 per month, and ads budget. And I've noticed that the return of investment wasn't that high. So when I changed the approach, I realized that okay, if I can track my business, I can track how many leads coming in, what is my conversion rate, and how many will actually take an appointment with me. Then I can quantify what would be the budget that would make sense that my broker can support, because it's one thing to generate more leads, but you need people to provide the service when the leads are coming in, or else you're just spending some money nowhere. So you need to make sure that when they comes in, there's somebody that pick up the phone right away.
Of course. Yeah, that makes complete sense. And, I like that you talked about going through that testing phase because so many people are looking for the perfect ad that works in every market, every time at the highest rate. And that doesn't exist. You have to be able to test certain things and figure out what works for you. And, obviously you could tell that you're a strong team leader because you're very analytical and you understand your numbers and KPIs. Lead conversion is the biggest problem for most people because generating leads, especially on Facebook or Google, is pretty easy. But then people drop the ball when it comes to converting.
Yeah.
What does it look like after somebody clicks on one of your ads?
You mean in terms of conversion rate?
Yeah, well, I guess so. Let's say that I'm in Quebec and I see your ad and I click on it.
Yeah.
Am I getting a call? What is being said? How is it going into a CRM? Like, what's kind of that
Yeah.
strategy in order to
So
actually get an appointment?
that's amazing, and that's a great question, Mike. We can tell you know exactly what you're talking about when you ask those questions. Basically, when the client clicks on the link, it goes directly into the CRM, and all the automation after that in the back end they got lunch. But the ads, it's a funnel, so they go to the funnel, they get a VSL after that, they get sold on the product, and after they get what they were asking, they get on the CRM, the action plan is launched, and right away they get a text message and a call from a team member that's basically offering them to finalize what they got by email with them. So I'm like, the kind of thing I'm going to provide them, let's say, is going to be a calculator, let's say for capital gain. So you get an Excel sheet with numbers and something that if you're not in the field every day, it can be very complicated. So you get this by email, and now the brokers are just calling to say, hey, listen, you received that. I'm guessing you have a commercial property for that ad specifically. Would you like us to fill out the form with you? And through the call, we go into this discovery mode where we ask question about the property, how long you've been having it, why he wants to know the capital gain, and after it's going into the follow-up section if ever we didn't close on the spot.
That makes sense. And I think it's important for people to realize that, you're obviously talking about a very niche specific ad that works in your market and
Yeah.
is really in line with your skill set because so many people are trying to just do these blanket ads that are catered to absolutely everybody. But as the market continues to shift and it's always shifting, it's so critical to be able to identify what the opportunity is in your market so that you could dive into that and speak directly to that individual. When you're running ads, this is something I'm genuinely curious about because I've got my own set of data. Are you finding better success with graphic ads or video ads on Facebook?
So on Facebook, it depends who I'm speaking with. So for those leads that were for buyers, I find most success with static ads. That was the result that I'm having at the moment. But when it comes for brokers and the process, let's say I'm selling, because I did coaching in the past and we were selling high tickets and things like that. So everything that was a higher cost up front, I had more success with video ads. But I think it really depends what you're selling, and you need to test and try to see what and quantify the result basically that you're going to have, because I think it's different for each market and each product and each ad you're going to do basically.
Yeah, and I love that that was your outcome because I've seen very similar results. When you look at the general population, it attention span is so little that it's really funny. Like, it used to be all about video ads, and video ads crushed because video was everything. But then everybody started doing video, and now what
Yeah.
I find is exactly what you said, is that graphic ads actually convert the best when it comes to the general population. When you transition to a higher ticket, wealthier population, as you alluded to with higher ticket programs, things like that, people usually know very much so what they're looking for.
Yeah.
So they're willing to sit through a video, they're willing to consume something, and that ends up working better on the video side. So I've seen very similar results, and I love that. Now, when it comes to the CRM, what does a campaign look like for you to be able to nurture clients? I know that you alluded to text. I'm assuming that there's also email. How often are things going out? Like, what does that look like without getting into the exact thing that you're saying? But frequency is something people are curious about. I don't want to spam people too much. I don't want to reach out too often. How do you approach that?
Listen, I love the question because we have a saying here at the office that we say we follow up until they die, and that's basically what we do. We just keep on following up, and I would be happy to share with your audience my plan. I don't to share step by step everything I do and give it to them by email. They just have to write me something. But to be honest, it's a follow up that happened every day for almost 2 years straight after that. And for us, a follow up, a follow up is just something that catch attention. It's basically me trying to spark a conversation, bringing them back on a call. I'm really aware that for selling services like what we do every day, I need to be either in front of the person or on the phone call or video with them to be able to catch the emotion and everything. So all our follow up that we're doing with text and email is basically trying to get them back on a call or in front of a video a conversation, so we can have in-depth conversation with the client and find out what is it that they're trying to fix as a problem.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you and I can chat offline about what it looks like for people to have a conversation with you and get access to something like that. But I love that you kind of just harped on the fact that it follow up until people die.
Yeah.
And that's ironically a consistent perspective that I see from every single person who crushes with online lead conversion is they're relentless about it because they would rather go too far and have somebody just say no and stop or unsubscribe than to let things slip through the cracks because they're hesitant of, oh, is this too much? Is this too soon? So I think that's a critical takeaway for everybody is that that is a consistency I've seen amongst every single person who's doing well with online lead generation.
And Mike, it makes me want to bounce back on that. Is that most of the time we hear the leads are not ready, they're not, it's not solid lead. But at the end of the day, all client will convert. It's just a matter of time, and if they're gonna convert with you, if you're not there when they're ready in 3 months from now, or 6 months or 12 months, they're gonna convert with somebody else. But they will convert.
Yep. Yeah, I completely agree. People are at some point always going to make that some sort of transition, whether it's in 5 years, 5 months, 5 days, 5 weeks. It's bound to happen, but they're always going to work with the person that they talked to most recently.
Yeah.
And so many people drop that ball because they give up after the first reach out attempt instead of just making this a habit and part of their business. So, looking at transitioning over to Google Ads, and then I'd love to briefly touch on TikTok because nobody talks about TikTok ads. And I think that's a huge gold mine because it's unsaturated and most aren't willing to put themselves on camera. But looking at Google Ads when it comes to lead generation, what are you seeing success with there?
On Google Ads, I find that it's more sellers I'm gonna get from there because so Facebook, Instagram, we get some sellers, but most of them are gonna be buyers that we convert into sellers over a period of time. Which on Google, I find that sellers are more educated, meaning that they do more research. They want to see the Google review. They want to see who else is in the area. So cost per lead is higher on the Google Ads, but when I get the call, the conversion rate is way higher, and when I get in the kitchen, I get the client right away.
Yeah, I see the same thing when people are always asking if I have a, limited budget, where should I spend it? And I tell people every single time Google Ads
Mm,
because yeah, the cost per lead is almost always going to be higher, but the intent is way higher because
yeah.
it's search based and the quality therefore is usually much greater. Now, when I've run Google Ads and helped other agents run Google Ads, I typically find the more niche the better, the more specific the better, because when most people are going to run Google ads, they're just saying, homes for sale in Calgary, and then you're competing against all the big dogs with massive budgets. You know, what does it look like for you to kind of get specific on a target avatar and go after that?
So that's exactly what we do in all our ads. Basically, we go on niche. In my area, we go by postal code. So we do specific ads based on the postal code where the client is. The area I specialize in, it's basically all the same kind of properties, duplex, triplex, or same kind of condo. So for us, it's really easy to promote one specific product. And if we make ads on that specific product, and the more specific it is, the more it resonate with the clients, which it makes him want to contact you because now you're speaking to him directly.
Yeah. Yeah, completely agree. And that's one of the things I love that you touched on that I absolutely love about Google Ads is that you can get way more specific in terms of targeting. Facebook ads with a special ad category for housing, you've got a 15-mile radius and you can only do so much. That's why it's really important, as you talked about, to get specific of who you're talking to so the only ones that actually click on it are your ideal client. But with Google Ads, you can go down to the postal code, zip code, whatever, depending on where you live, and go granular. So that's really cool. Is it a very similar process for you to follow up and convert Google Ads as you would with Facebook ads?
Yeah. So the action plan are adapted for Google for sure, and we do retargeting after when the leads hits the system. We retarget them with the display ads, but at the end of the day, it's pretty much the same philosophy: follow up until they die. So we
Yeah.
keep to that.
I'm really glad that you actually talked about that, which is you said the word retargeting, because
Yeah.
for me, that's where the money has been made for my business is not just getting in front of people, but staying in front of people and being able to essentially, with the tools we now have, follow them around the internet so that everywhere they look, they're seeing you. I also know that, retargeting ads, you can get away with a much smaller budget because you're
Yeah.
going after a set group of people. What does it look like for you when it comes to budget allocation? If you're saying maybe it's X amount a day for a top of funnel ad, but then you've got a much smaller amount for retargeting ad.
So the exact amount now that we're spending now, I have somebody taking care of all that, but I would say that 25% of the budget is spent on the retargeting at the moment, and we follow up with them for 120 days. So that's for 4 months, basically, after they hit or they touch one of our ads, we keep following up with them, and it comes up with the omnipresence again. And when client they give us a call, they say, "Hey, I see you everywhere. Like I go on that app, I see you. I go on Facebook, I see you." So at one point, you become the number one in their mind, and they're just have no other option. It's just this person in front of me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the ultimate goal, and, I think people tend to overcomplicate what it actually takes to get to that point, because you can get to that point pretty quickly if you just have ads consistently running all the time, but I think that's where many agents fall short, is they'll run an ad for a week, stop, run an ad for a week, stop, instead of just saying, "I'm gonna allocate a specific budget at all times to just continue to remain in front of people." I think many
Yeah.
people struggle with saying, if I can't calculate the leads this is bringing me right now, I don't want to do it. Whereas you and I both know we have a budget set aside for retargeting and just understand that that's playing the long game and eventually it'll convert, but you're not looking at how can I convert in the next 3 days with these ads, right?
Yeah, and all the numbers are tracked as well. It's not just throwing the money by the windows and just hoping to get a listing appointment. And because I didn't get no listing appointment in 1 week, I'm stopping all the ads. I think when you go in the ads, as you said, you need to maintain a certain budget and just commit to it for the next 18 months. Just commit to it and stick to the plan, and based on the result that you're having online, make adjustment to make sure that it's your return of investment is there. But if you're not committed for a long time enough, you won't see no result coming from it.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Well, let's transition to something that I've never actually seen somebody talk about on a conversation with me. I've talked about it in solo videos, but I'm excited to kind of unpack TikTok ads. Most people don't even know you can run ads on
Yeah.
TikTok, very similar to, Google or rather YouTube ads. But what are you doing there? Because usually that's going to be video format, it's going to be vertical, it's a bit of a different ball game for people. So what kind of ads are you exploring on TikTok?
So what I'm doing at the moment is basically some ads. Basically it's like my billboard. So I'm using TikTok to redirect my traffic to my other platform that convert a bit more. But is the platform that allow me to, with the For You page and everything, it really allow us to get a lot more views and a lot more redirection from this than all the other platform that I'm having. And after, when I redirect them to the right platform, so depending what kind of client they are, I'm just throwing them into a different direction, let's say YouTube or my Instagram or my Facebook. And through that, they get in the process of getting the information they're looking for. So after they convert, so I'm using at the moment TikTok for like a billboard. Basically, I'm putting myself out there so they see me, and after I redirect them at the right platform.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. And what would be like a very generic example of one of your ads? Like what are you saying in it? Because so many people are like, "Oh my god, TikTok, I have no idea what to say. I have no idea what to do. It's for kids." And before you even answer that, I think that's a really another important takeaway for most people. I recently had a guy in our group on my YouTube channel, and he's a younger guy and he does six figures a month through TikTok through organic content. And he's 23, 24 years old. And the when you look at his analytics, the average person that follows him is between 45 and 65. And so many people assume that it's just younger millennials, Gen
Yeah,
Z on
13
TikTok.
to 20.
Yeah, exactly. But the data shows you a radically different
Yeah,
story oftentimes. So just before you answer what a video ad looks like for you, I need people to understand that your target avatar is on TikTok. They might not be
yeah.
engaging with you as much, but they're on there.
Yeah, they're everywhere. They go now. People they go on where they can get distraction as quick as possible, and TikTok is the
Yeah.
perfect platform for it. They can just scroll until the end if they want to. There's just no end to it, so they can pass
Yeah.
2 hours there if they want.
Yeah. Yeah. So what would you be saying in a TikTok ad?
So now I have two kind. The first one is going to be really like I talk about the pain point of my clients. So basically, what, let's say, a buyer has having difficulties with, and I just tell them that I have the answer to the problem. I give 2 3 tips, and if ever they want more, they contact me. Another thing that we do, it's is going to be letting people know the tips and tricks from an area. So my niche where I work. So what they need to know, like restaurant, cafe in the area, hot spot to go in the area that we're looking for, and that bring us a lot of questions, and that's what I want to stimulate a community. People ask me question, I interact with them, and after we can go forward from there.
100%. Yeah, it's all about being able to spark conversations and for anybody that's listening, because some people might say, okay, well, because you said the first point, which is incredible, which is addressing pain points. I think that's one of the easiest ways to be able to create a video ad, whether it be on YouTube or on TikTok, is getting clarity of what the pain points are of your target avatar that you're getting in front of. And now we're in this world where if anybody's listening to this and they want to know, well, how do I find out what the pain points are? Number one, if you're an industry expert, you should know. But number two, ChatGPT will give you those answers. Write out who your target avatar is, ask it what their top three pain points are, and that's going to give you the script. So if you're listening to this because Dominic's sharing, incredible information, you don't have to overcomplicate this for your market. We have tools that will give us the exact answer and then turn that into a script, right?
Yeah, if I start my business and ChatGPT was present 10 years ago, I would be another level.
Dude, tell
Everything
me
that we
about it.
do today with the ChatGPT, the automation and everything, oh my God. But people don't use it, or at least they use it like if it was Google, I would say,
Yeah.
by searching information when they should giving order to ChatGPT and help them solve some problem and or question. We use ChatGPT like uh, I would say 10, 12 times every day. Like it's every time, everything we do, there's ChatGPT included in it.
100%. Same here. I love the example that you used of people just using it like Google because so many people are turning a blind eye to using these tools because they write in one sentence, it gets a very generic response, and they think, okay, that's not what I'm looking for. Whereas if I look at some of the stuff that I write out, I'm writing out paragraphs in terms of a prompt to
Yeah,
then get a very incredible result. And similar to you, I use it for all of my content planning, all my ideation, all the different reference points, call to actions, inspiration, everything. It's a staple in my day. I keep it open on my tabs 24/7.
yeah.
I would love to get an idea of how you're using ChatGPT and how your team's using it because I know many people are unfamiliar with how it can be used for production. They're just saying, well, this can just help with content. But no, there's other very practical ways you could use it for running your real estate business. What are some of the ways that you're using AI and ChatGPT?
Well, pretty much for my content, Mike. I learned from Social Agent that I can use it, and when I did your YouTube course, this is where it gives me really eye opening on the fact that listen, I can use this more to my content, and doesn't is not going to look like everybody else if I give the right prompt. So I have to
Yeah.
thank you for this first of all on that side. On my side for the business, we use it for I would say pretty much everything. Is it for lead nurture? Is it for basically the way we send information to our CRM, the let's say deed of sales that we buy for the niche where we work. They go into the drive send it to ChatGPT, gets out all the correct information from it automatically, send it back to our CRM, so the action planner launch right after. It's used for SOPs, it's used for basically everything. And this is where now I'm starting to to learn the power of AI, and really when you put some attention on it and you realize that this is where we're going. I'm already late. There's people already using it like another level.
Yeah.
So we're trying to implement this in everything we're doing because it just make the job of a broker easier and the service provided to a client faster.
Completely agree. It creates massive leverage, massive efficiencies, and there used to be a time where the first hire in your real estate business is an admin, and you'd be rushing to find one, then rushing to train one, and trying to replace one. Whereas now you have one for free, and it
Yeah.
could do pretty much everything an admin could do for you, until you can get to the point where you actually do need to spend money and bring somebody on locally. But I'm same page as you is finding every single way humanly possible. Even when I travel, it'll build out itineraries. When I'm looking for restaurants near a
Yeah.
5-minute walk from where I am, it gives you everything. And I love that. And I would love to know your take on this because this is something that I've seen and I think is going to be a disruptor when it comes to websites of agents and the future of why you're doing so well with content and ad strategies. Before Perplexity, which is like another version of Google but AI, and ChatGPT, people would go on Google and they would search something, then they would click on a website and get an answer. And that click is what websites were looking for. But now with the introduction of ChatGPT and Perplexity and these platforms, you no longer need to click on somebody's website to get the answer. And I think there's agents that are just putting all their eggs in blogs and making this super sexy website and IDX feeds and things like that, instead of realizing that at some point consumer behavior is going to change where people will realize, like my mom's now using ChatGPT,
Yeah.
right? Which is wild, to get answers immediately without having to click. What's your take on that and how it's going to transform the future of how people interact?
Well, I think it's going to be even more important the power of branding. So if ever you want ChatGPT and or it's content based, AI
Yeah.
goes into the data that is provided to them to the system to analyze which one is the best one. So the more you're going to be out there with omnipresence, the more you're going to have a strong branding, the more you're going to come out into those search. And if you follow I follow Gary Vee or any kind of people that talks about that, we realize that listen, it's been coming since a long time, and you have to be upfront, and it's going to change, and all those trends they go fast. If you're not already doing everything you can in order to let the system know that you're out there, well, in 5 years from now, AI is going to be part of every broker's business, and you won't be in business anymore. So you need to implement this since last year, since 2 years ago, and we don't even know where it's going to go eventually, but it's going to be in everything we do, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's evolving at such a rapid pace, and I love that you touched on the fact that people will get replaced because so many people are asking, "Will AI replace agents?" And the answer is no, but agents who use AI will replace those who don't.
Yeah.
And you know, this also brings up another interesting point and why I'm so proud and glad that you're using video at the rate at which you are, because there's a double-edged sword when it comes to AI, which is that it removes authenticity, it removes transparency, it removes the human connection. And I see a lot of agents that are waiting for AI to get to the point where it can basically just do your videos for you. But as we transition, my belief, and I'd love to know your take on it, is that AI is incredible for pre-production and post production, which is planning and then editing, thumbnails, that type of thing. But actual production, I think, always needs to have that genuine human element and people being able to connect with you. And I think there's going to be this massive opportunity where you're going to have these platforms that are now going to be promoted in front of agents saying, this AI platform can do the videos for you, or it can, like, hey Jen, it can do it in different languages and you don't have to do anything. But people are going to be able to see through that. And the ones that are going to win are going to be the ones like you that are omnipresent, but in a very genuine, relatable way. What's your take on that?
Well, you asked me, Dom, is AI going to replace basically the brokers? No, because it's a people business and it's always going to be. If not, there's already some structure and or platform that could replace us, like blockchain or any kind of other platform available there. So it's still going to be it's emotion. People need to be understood, need to know and trust the person that they're dealing with. So those videos are helping people build confidence in you over a screen, and after when they feel confident they give you a call. If you The problem is that if ever you use the AI to do all the work for you, then you're just like all the other one, you're not different. And now don't forget, AI, it's using information in a database that already exists to provide you with the answer. So if it does video for you, that means it's already exists somewhere else. So you're not evolving, you're not creating, you're not adding any value. And where I realize over time that my business is growing is the more value I add or the more problem I fixed, the more money I was making and the more I was bringing some value to the marketplace. So I need to be something new, some new ways, use it as a tool, use it as like an admin, like something that's going to make your job easier. But there's still a part where you have to be the person and the personality of your brand.
Completely agree. Yeah, brand is going to be the key going forward, and I know that you built an incredible one. And there's some questions I've got on the team side that I'm excited to kind of unpack. But before going on to that, I'd love to know: are there any other AI platforms that you're using outside of ChatGPT?
So ChatGPT is the one that we use the most. I use vidIQ for the YouTube.
Hmm.
But other than that, I have a team of people taking care of all the automation inside the team, which they have way more knowledge than me on all those aspects. But I know they're using other platform to convert and translate and make sure that it's like a Zapier. Let's say they connect everything together so it reads properly.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, that's critical. That's awesome, dude. Well, let's transition a little bit because as you alluded to in the beginning, you've got a team of, you've trained tens of agents, you've got a team of almost 20 people, and you've helped so many people go from struggling to seeing massive success in a very short amount of time based on your principles and your training, and you've trained other agents as well.
yeah.
We're coming into a new year, and most people didn't have the 2024 that they were expecting. There was a lot of external forces, there was a lot of confusion and distraction, and many people are coming into this new year hoping for a radically different outcome. What have you seen be some of the biggest mistakes people have as agents who are not hitting their goals? Or conversely, what's your advice to somebody coming into a new year who didn't have a good year and wants to see success?
So the to answer the first part of the question, what is the common mistake I see from the marketplace is basically a broker have no focus.
Yeah.
So they go from one end to the other, trying to find the way that's going to make them successful right away, like an overnight success. They go one day, they call one kind of client, the other day, they call another kind of client. They don't have a specific plan in place. And the second thing would be basically consistency and discipline. They 2 days they're in, 3 days they're out, and there's no consistency. For me, I think it's better for a broker to be active every day on a small amount of action, but take action every day than to go for one day and take huge action and 3 days without action. So the muscle you're building when you're doing action every day, it's basically the discipline you need in order to succeed. The real estate, it's a marathon, it's not a race. And
Yeah.
success happen over a long period of time. And as long as you take action over a long period of time, you get some result. If you take just small action and you're expecting to do 500 grand this year because you did the 30 call today, well, 30 call might not do the job.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I love that. And we talk about often that you don't achieve your goals, you achieve your standards. And I think that's where many people fall short is that they haven't built up, you said the perfect word, discipline. And one of the most famous quotes is discipline being the bridge between your goals and accomplishments. And many people say they're going to do something, they come into the new year, new me, I'm going to do all this shit, and they go right back to where they came from,
First
because they haven't
February,
rewired.
usually this is where it falls.
Yeah, exactly. One month and then they burn out because
Yeah.
sometimes they do exactly what you're saying is they come in, they realize they jacked up last year. So they're going to, instead of treating it like a marathon, they treat it like a sprint and they burn out by the end of January and then they fall flat. So
Yeah.
now let's kind of go to the second part of that of coming into a new year for an agent that maybe hasn't seen much success. Like when you're sitting down with agents and you've coached them and you've helped them, what are you helping them with? What's that process look like to be able to say, hey, we're starting this new year, we've got a clean slate, here's what I recommend for you to do if we're going to take it to the break six figure level?
So it's a boring answer, but it's still the most important. I think it's that my job as a team leader is to make my broker connect with their big why, the reason why they're waking up every morning, and the reason why they want to attain certain goal. Because if it's just about money, once they have a bit of money in their bank account, they're gonna stop pushing. So it really has to be a reason why they want to push, and we basically reverse engineered what they want to accomplish. Me knowing the numbers and knowing what are their stats, I take the amount they want to make per year, and after this, I just crunch it down to how many appointments they need, how many calls they need to make, how many leads they need to get in, and we just bring it back to a day-to-day operation. Instead of being a one-year goal, it becomes just one day goal. And this is what,
Yeah.
if you just follow this over a long period of time, you'll get the success. But you just need to stick to that.
It's the most perfect answer because everybody's looking for some long-winded, secret sauce, short path to success, and it doesn't exist. And
Yeah.
getting clarity on your purpose and then being able to just wake up every day and know exactly what to do and focusing on the process, not the outcome, you will get there. It's not that difficult. It's just boring for most people. So they're
Yeah.
looking for the fun way to do that. I would actually love to kind of dive in a little bit deeper about that because many agents have heard what gets measured gets managed, and they understand the importance of measuring, but they don't actually do it. So let's say an agent wants to do 24 deals in a year, 2 deals per month. What does that look like for you? And what kind of advice can you give to somebody to be able to chunk that down into daily KPIs?
I would need to track what would be their KPI, and so basically I would ask him how many appointment do you need in order to get one contract? How many a contract do you need in order to get one sales? And how many calls you need to make in order to get in front of one client? How many appointment you need to make in order to, so basically going down through those numbers. But if you never track your numbers, well, you basically gamble with your results. So it's basically the same thing. So I think using system today like CRMs that can track your call, text, email, you get to measure everything, and you need to become in my opinion, a maniac about your own numbers. What are
Mhm.
they? How many calls I need to take? Where does my client come from? So every year when you do your business plan, you look your current year in overview, and you look, okay, what was my result this year, and where does my client come from, and how many are we on track, and next year what I did right, what do I need to do differently in order to adjust my ship where I want to go.
Yep. Yeah, well, you said that perfectly because any time I've seen somebody successful, and especially when it comes to lead conversion, any coach, any top producer, they all say that real estate is one of the most predictable businesses. And
Yep.
then when you look at everybody that's struggling, they all feel like real estate is the most ambiguous, like all over the map roller coaster of a business because, like you said, they're just gambling with their time. They have no idea what 20% is bringing 80% of the results, and they're just throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks instead of being able to know last year this is what I converted. If I do twice as much of the activity that led to that, I should be able to double my production bar nothing radically changes in the market.
It makes a big difference, and most of them that are are not having the success that they want to have, you ask them what are your numbers this year, they don't have the answer.
Yeah, exactly. And no, that's awesome, man. Well, there's going to be a ton of agents that are listening to this and saying, I have no idea how to get those numbers. I have no idea how to build up my business plan, and they need support because I think you and I know
Yeah.
more than anybody is you've trained tons of agents. I've trained thousands of agents that who you're around is critically important, right? When you're around elite level agents that are crushing high numbers, you're naturally going to transcend in that direction as well. Whereas if you're around a bunch of people that are just doing their own thing or low producers, you're probably going to stay stuck exactly where you are. You and I have obviously become partners, and it's been incredible to see the success that you've had. I'd love for you to kind of unpack why you decided to partner with EXP. And then most importantly, what can people expect when partnering with you, knowing that you're not just a team leader, but you've coached so many agents?
Yeah, so I basically decided to join EXP at first. I did my study for a year and a half before I switched. I had 20 brokers, so it was not a small decision for me. I had a lot of financial implication and a lot of things to reconsider before I did it. And I did it because I wanted to give more to my brokers. That's the first thing. I wanted to be able to give them a part of my business, and I wanted to be able to basically increase my retention rate. So and with a team, most of the time you can see that after a certain number of years, people they want to go by their own. They want to go start their own thing. But now by me giving them some dividend and or adding people under them, I had an opportunity to make them grow every year, which they had no reason to want it to go away. That was the first reason. Second reason, the fact that I wanted to open different office. So my team getting bigger, I had some requests from other broker and to other cities that wanted to be part of the team, but they were too far. And the banner I was with didn't allow me to open up any other office. So I wanted to be able to have that flexibility of my own branding, my own marketing, my own office, and basically be able to grow as much as I want.
Yeah, that definitely, it makes sense. And I think that's a testament to you as a leader of wanting to give more to your agents, because oftentimes what, team leaders and broker owners, eventually realize is that, they have a different opportunity than their agents have. Whereas when you look at an opportunity like this, now your agents have the same opportunity as you
Yeah.
to be able to partner with people, provide value, have that, exit strategy at the end of the day for all the hard work that they put in over the years to build in their business. And now let's go to that final part of what can people expect when partnering with you, because you've not only helped these 20 brokers be able to build their business, but you've also coached for years and helped so many other people, and now this is an opportunity for people to align with you and get your mentorship. So between yourself and myself, what can people expect when partnering with you?
So basically, I tailored some plan acts to whatever you want to attain in term of goal. That's what I do. So I take whatever you want to achieve, put the plan in place. I've walked the path before. I can show you the way. I give it to you, tailored to what you need, and make sure that you reach your goal. That's the first thing that I put in place for the brokers. But also, we put a plan to plan for an exit at one point. When you think about real estate, it's not everybody that want to be into the kitchen for the next 15, 20 years. At one point, they want to be able to have a business, which means it run without them being there, and they can have something that still generates some money while they're away. So I put those plan in place either by plan for investment, EXP, a team. So all of this in place in order for a broker to grow with me over time.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I think the fact that you set a plan is so important, because so many people, especially in real estate, they just float through their journey and they wake up 20 years down the road
Yeah.
and they didn't have a plan. They just kept repeating their first year for 20 years. And now they're realizing, oh shit, I don't have an exit strategy. I don't have the income I was expecting. I don't have a nest egg. I can't move on to this next phase like I was hoping to, because I never had a plan. And that's one of the things that, I really admire about you, is being able to take that, holistic approach to being able to invest, look at what EXP provides, and have a strategy to say, if you just do these things for the coming years, you will have that outcome that you're looking for. So, Dominic, really excited about this. And again, guys, for those that are listening, please make sure you take this opportunity to book your call in the description or the pinned comment with Dominic to talk about where you're at today, where you're looking to go. Because as we talked about, if you don't have a plan, you're going to end up somewhere, and that somewhere usually isn't where you would like to go. It's really important to have clarity, but also align with people who've been there, done that, and can actually help you get there and not just wing it. So, Dominic, again, man, thank you so much for all your value. Make sure, guys, that you book your conversation, and please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share this with somebody, and hopefully we get to welcome you into our incredible group at EXP.